Hey, what's going on, my fellow idiots? Welcome back for another episode of Idiot Proof Cooking. So the other day I was browsing the internet, as one does, and I came across a recipe for homemade peppermint patties, and I was absolutely ecstatic because I just love chocolate mint. Chocolate mint has got to be like one of the best flavor combinations of all time, and I love peppermint patties, so I wanted to try making them for the channel. I scoured the internet, came up with a bunch of different recipes, and I've decided to make it for the channel today because of how simple they are and yet how tasty they are. So let's make some peppermint patties. So first things first, get yourself a large mixing bowl, and into said mixing bowl we're going to add in 4 cups of powdered sugar, which is a lot of sugar. And then we're going to add in 3/4 of a cup of sweetened and condensed milk. Once you've scraped all the sweetened condensed milk in, we're going to add in 1.5 teaspoons of peppermint extract. I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. And then we're going to first mix this together with a spatula until it starts to thicken up and clump up to the point where a spatula is just not going to mix it anymore. And then it's time to just get in there with your hands and start kneading this like a dough. Yeah, a sugary, sweetened and condensed milk dough. But yeah, that's really kind of what it's like. It's like a gigantic sugar dough. So just knead it. It's going to take like 3 to 5 minutes of kneading until you get a nice, smooth and consistent sugar dough ball. Oh, and there's JP coming to inspect. But yeah, look at it. After you've kneaded it a little bit, you know what? Give me a second here. Let me give JP a little bit of space here. Let's see if he wants to come in the shot. He's not quite tall enough to fully fit in frame yet, but as you can see, I'm still kneading this sugar ball until it's nice and smooth and looks something like that. And then from there, it's time to roll this out. So I'm going to sprinkle down some powdered sugar on my cutting board instead of all-purpose flour, and then we're going to roll this sugar dough ball out until it's 1/8 of an inch thick. I really can't think of another way to describe it besides a sugar dough ball. But anyways, after you've rolled it out, we're then going to cut out little biscuits of minty, sugary dough with a biscuit cutter. Now you can use whatever size you want. You can make them bigger or smaller. I'm using a medium-sized biscuit cutter here. And then we're just going to place the little sugar circles on a parchment-lined baking sheet. And then we're going to let these firm up in the freezer for the next 2 hours or so. Now, as you can see here, we have a lot of leftover minty sugar dough. So we can just reform this, roll it out, and cut some more little circle peppermint patties out of it to make more of them. I'm going to give it a little taste test there, and those taste good already. Now, while the peppermint patties firm up in the freezer, let's tackle the chocolatey outer layer of them. So in this bowl here, I have 3 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and a lot of the recipes I found online said to use 2 teaspoons of shortening. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of shortening. I would rather use lard or butter, but just to stick to the recipe, I am going to use 2 teaspoons of shortening, and then stick this in the microwave and melt it in 30-second intervals until the chocolate comes out nice and smooth and melted like that. Now, back to the peppermint patties. They've been in the freezer for about 2 hours, so all we're going to do is take one at a time, dunk it in the chocolate, and then use 2 forks to swirl it around in the chocolate to make sure it gets nice and covered. Lift the chocolate-covered peppermint patty out of the chocolate, place it on a parchment-lined baking sheet, and then just repeat the process until you've completed them all. Now, at this point in time, we're going to let the chocolate firm up in the fridge just for another hour or so, and they're going to come out looking like that. Look at these. Those look like peppermint patties. Now, we got to go in and taste test this because I love chocolate mint, and that was the whole point of the episode. We want to taste test these, so there's a close-up shot of it. Look at that thing. All right, taste test. Here we go. I'm excited. I love chocolate mint, and wow, those taste like peppermint patties. Yeah, that's what they taste like. Oh, and look at that, everybody. The official taste tester of the channel. Here we go. She wants her own, but come on, Rose. We got to do a little taste test here. What do you think? Is it good? Oh, there we go. Thumbs up. She likes chocolate mint too. It's crazy how similar these taste to just like the store-bought ones. These were so simple to make, and it was a fun little project to do in an afternoon. Not exactly the most practical thing, because you can just buy peppermint patties at the store, but this was still fun to try, and I would highly recommend it if you like to do small little baking projects like this. But anyways, let's call it there. This was a lot of fun, and these were super tasty, super chocolatey and minty, so you should give them a try at home. If you like what you saw, why don't you drop me a comment, like the video, or even subscribe subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching 8 Proof Cooking, and we'll see you again next time.